if you haven't thought about hunting Africa before, hopefully this video will create that spark for your own African adventure. So if at the end of this video, a spark has been ignited for you to experience your own African adventure, please contact me on www.zebrashunting.com and let me help you plan your African adventure. I only had 6 weeks to prepare for this hunt after receiving an invitation from Phumba Safaris to come over to South Africa to experience my first ever African hunting adventure. So I did have a couple of very busy weeks organising flights and all the paperwork required to travel with your firearm over to South Africa. Having said that, I didn't have any dramas with any of the border force or airlines with travelling with my firearm and ammunition, and it was all quite straightforward. But anyway, that's enough from me I think for now. Let's jump straight into this adventure, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Righto, we're off. It's just after midnight. I've got a 3-hour drive to the airport, and you've got to be there at least 2 hours prior to departure. So I've given myself a little bit extra time there, a little bit of wriggle room, and yeah, we'll get out of here. So this is the stressful part probably of any international trip. Hoping that you've packed everything and you've got everything in line, but yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll be right. So here we go, eh? I'll see you in the city. Rightio, made it to the airport. Because my flight's so early, I've had to ring Border Force to tell them to send an officer down to check my rifling to get it cleared. So just another thing to think about when you're looking at your flight times. Yeah, so anyway, cars in long-term parking, and yeah, so far so good. Made it. Nearly didn't. You actually have to check your rifle in Sydney. Last port of departure from the country is where you need to do your border force. So don't listen to Qantas. Rightio, that was a flight. 25 hours from when I left home. We've landed in Joburg. Got delayed by about 3 hours in Sydney. Wiper blade issues. Anyway, we're in here now. I'll pick up the rifle and all the rest of my gear. Righto, we got through Joburg Airport with the rifle. It was pretty painless, wasn't it? So voters picked me up, so we've got a 4-hour drive ahead of us. So we're just heading out of the airport now, parking, and off we go into the dark. We might see an animal or two on the road.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Not like our wombat.
The last thing you want to hit is a bloody kudu.
No kudu. Warthog maybe. Well, we finally made it. 11:15. Been going for over 30 hours. Rightio, so we got in pretty late last night, near midnight, after getting into Johannesburg, and in the rush getting out of the airport I left my ammo behind. Luckily the guys here had a packet of Super Performance 165 GMX, a copper bullet, and some Precision Hunter So my ammo that I was loading at home was 200 grain eld-x, which is the same as this. So I'm hoping that these guys grip pretty similar. Yeah, so we're just at the range first morning, and we're just going to chuck a couple of rounds in it just to make sure it's still online after travelling half the world. And righto.
Okay.
I'll do another one. Out where the other ones were shooting. Pretty happy with that. I'll do one more, I suppose, just make sure.
Okay.
Perfect. Righto, so practically that precision hunt is the same as my reloaded ammo at home, which is what I was trying to emulate anyway. First shot went 1 inch left, about the right height, and then two have gone in the same hole straight above, so we don't need to adjust, which is good. Saved a bit of ammo. And my shoulder, she was kicking around a bit. Don't mind these ones. That was my first shot, and those two there were the last two. So about 1.5 inches high, which is perfect for a 200 yard zero. So it looks like I can just run with that factory ammo and even use my dial if we need to shoot a bit of distance. So that's awesome. Alright, got me Phumba hat on. First morning, like we got in real late last night, so I didn't show you around at all, but when we get back from our first look around this morning, I'll give you a really good run through the accommodation and yeah, like your meeting hall where you have your breakfast and all the rest of it. It's all awesome setup. Perfect morning. The weather's really mild compared to home at this time of the year. So it's 8th of May. I've only just got my lightweight Sitka top on and pants, and that's more than enough for this morning. Yeah, so it's probably like Queensland weather, which makes sense for the same distance from the equator as Queensland, I think, so South Africa. But anyway, awesome morning, nice and quiet. Met another couple from Colorado, so yeah, have a good chat with them, and met the couple of guides, and yeah, no, so it's all been awesome so far. It's a real load off my mind knowing that ammo shoots out of this rifle pretty good. Yeah, so what happened there was we just got distracted, I think, and the ammo was sitting up against the bench, and the guys in the airport there weren't super helpful, and anyway, we sort of just got going when we got the chance, and yeah, forgot the bloody ammo. So they rang us, but it was a couple of hours into our trip, and so we just decided to keep going, and yeah, Voda knew that we had a couple of packets of 300 Win Mag in camp, so anyway, we've avoided that. But anyway, it's time to get out and have a look. I don't know what animals we're going to look for first, but he did mention that we will go to the Limpopo River, I think. He said, I really enjoy it there. Maybe some bushbuck and Nyala, probably.
Really interested in Nyala and bushbuck, Kudu and Impala, warthog probably. But yeah, let's just see what happens when I get eyes on them in the bush. It might be a completely different thing. I have some preconceived ideas about what antelope I like, but when I saw some waterbuck driving in, they're just massive. So it's all different once you see them in the flesh. So let's see how we go. Righto, we've just left the vehicle. Dion said we've got some areas up here that are worth looking at, so we're going to walk in by foot. It's the start of the rut, so we've got some impala, rams, thrashing a few bushes here. One over the back looks like a shooter. If he gives us a chance, we're going to set up on him. Pretty tight bush though, so we'll have to slot the bullet through. Just circled around on that mob of impala and we were pinned, but they were going to feed out into a clearing. Bloody cow kudu just came in at 40 yards, straight through the middle of it. Cows here. I've been tracking them for a bit. Dion spotted them with his eyes. Amazing. You see the ear flicker, a little bit of that white stripe on the flank. We've got a bit of a swirly wind at our back here too, so not ideal, but we'll see if there's a bull with them. Seen a kudu bull twice, but just glimpses of him. The wind's a bit shit. We're just going to circle around. Haven't seen you up here. Righto, the wind was swirling around too much on us there to keep on those kudu, so we've radioed the truck to come around, pick us up, and going to move on to another area and hopefully just get that wind a bit more in our favour. It's really close range sort of hunting, so you've got to have the wind right. Alright, we'll see what comes with the next spot. What's that? Is that warthog?
Yeah.
So Dion was just saying that the shape of this hoof here tells him that it's a red heart beast, and if you look closely you can see the shape of the heart of their footprint, and obviously they're a red colour, so yeah, it's kind of cool to see the different tracks. Yeah, we haven't got anything real interesting coming into this waterhole, so sort of tracked it around. One kudu looked like I've been having a bit of a play, and some young warthogs and that heart beast. Yeah, so it's warming up though. Might get a bit more activity a bit later in the afternoon. That's not nice. It's very skinny. Driven out to the Limpopo River for the afternoon, looking for a bushbuck, maybe in the Arla. Whole different concession, which is kind of cool, totally different landscape. So we'll see how we go along the river. Crocodiles and hippos apparently. Righto, so we've morning 2 and we've headed out to a different property again, chasing impala today. So we'll see how we go. Beautiful morning. These cool little bird nests in the trees here. We've actually just spotted some down the track here, so we're going to sneak in and have a look to see if there's a good ram or not. Poisonous or what? Some impala. We've had a couple of good looks at them. We just about got run over by a ram chasing a doe. We're just going to stay on them because they're really starting to erupt. on those Impala there were right in close. We spotted them from the truck, and then they sort of spooked off into the scrub. We only got a glimpse of a couple of rams, so we snuck in behind them and got the wind right. And that real close range hunting is super exciting. One of the bucks was, or rams, looks like he was rutting pretty hard and chasing females and chasing another younger ram off. And one stage there we had him at 10 yards. Yeah, just couldn't get a shot off. And yeah, then he chased a bloody female right into us and nearly bloody jumped on top of us. But anyway, we had to pull the pin in the end because the wind was swelling a bit. Yeah, exciting stuff. More of that would be good. Get in there. Nearly needed a shotgun. Morning 3. Yesterday afternoon we did get on to a big bunch of Impala. Did have one ram in it, but they give us the slip. And then right on last light we had 2 Kudus trying to size each other up over the fence. And, but yeah, we couldn't really tell how big the Kudu was on our side. Looked kind of like the one we'd seen earlier. So this morning we're out proper early and we're going to come back into that same clearing that we saw a couple of Impala in yesterday, and hope we've still got a group of them camped up there. So we'll see how we go this morning. Beautiful day again, a little bit of chill in the air. Been on those Impala for, I don't know, nearly an hour I reckon. Oh, that sunset. Oh. Just made a shot off the shooting sticks at 250. Quartering away slightly. Sounded like a big cut shot, but it's a big gun, big bullet. He's in big trouble. We're fine. Oh, bit further forward than I was expecting. I wasn't aiming there, but that's where the wobble went. Rightio, so finally got my first animal. Third afternoon, I think. Yeah, and we came out to this property this afternoon for something a bit different because we've pressured the other one a fair bit. And, yeah, we spotted this bachelor group of impala. And, there was a couple of, there's probably 3 that looked pretty handy, but this one sort of just had a little bit on the rest of them. But yeah, we stalked in from quite a fair way off and had to get on bloody hands and knees in a little gutter and pop up behind a tree. And anyway, they kept sort of snorting at us. They'd see us every so often, just moved back a little bit from us and couldn't get a real clear look. And Vion was trying to judge his shape and his size, obviously, and he didn't want me to just shoot one and get up to it and not be happy. So he did a really good job. We got in with Ronnie guiding in the way. So yeah, and then they spooked again, and it looked like it was all over. And we sort of got up on a bit of a mound and got the shooting sticks ready, and I ranged a clump of bush beside him at 225, and so the rifle sighted at 200. I did dial those couple of clicks, and lucky I did because they sort of pushed a little bit further, and I think they went to about 250. I was a little bit shaky. Front on shot was what he was offering, but I wasn't confident, so just waited, and he did just turn, and yeah, I've hit him perfect actually. It's dropped him right on the spot, so no need to do any tracking, which is awesome. And what a beautiful animal. It's like as if someone's been brushing him. His coat's that silky. Yeah, beautiful. Sharp tips, and yeah, absolutely rapt to have my first African Plains game, eh? Thanks, mate. You might have to help me get up.
Okay.
You good? Not yet. Yeah, it's heavy. You still good? Wonderful. Yep.
Arriba, abajo, a centro.
Centro.
Entro.
Okay.
Entro. Congratulations.
Right, it's the 4th morning, and we're looking for kudu. We've just seen a young bull jump the fence in front of us. Yeah, so we'll see how we go. The other client killed a good bull yesterday. So they're out there. We've just got to find one. kudu bull. And we just find a big black mamba. There's 3, 4 of them in there. I saw 2 bulls walking the fence line, and we got in on them, but then they went in the bush and we tracked them for a bit, but they were on the move, so we've decided to just drive around the block and see if we can actually catch them coming through, pick them up again. But this bush is really, really thick, and even though they're a massive animal, it's, you know, 20, 30 metres, 40 metres max, so it's quite difficult. Most of the, what would you call it, searching for is along the fence lines, just trying to pick them up on the road, and then, yeah, watch where they sort of sneak off and go in behind them and get on them. But quite often the wind won't be right to follow, so you sort of just got to abort and keep going, keep looking for another one. Yeah, that big snake we just saw, which, you know, was at least 6-7 foot, was a black mamba. Apparently 15 minutes, she's all over. So we'll pretty glad to see him before he saw us, and he was so silent. Couldn't hear a noise from him. He was, yeah, nasty looking.
Just due to the nature of filming your own hunts, you inevitably miss out on some content, and so I'm just going to fill you in on what's missing here. We end up driving through some country that had been burnt a few months prior and was quite open and was still recovering from that fire, which made it a lot easier to see a bit further into the bush. And anyway, we were driving along a cattle fence, and Ronnie spotted a kudu underneath the shade of a big tree. And so he pulled up, and I put the binos on it, and immediately I could tell that it was a good kudu. It had quite good length and good mass around the base. You know, not that I'm any kudu expert, but to me it looked like a good one. And anyway, the young fella jumped up onto the back of the ute and had a good look, and he's like, "Yeah, Zeb, come on, let's go." Yeah, so Ronnie and Vion were just sneaking along the road we were on, and I was sort of looking, going, "Oh, I reckon we're better off to go this way." So anyway, I ditched the tracker and the PH and climbed over the cattle fence, probably much to the horror of my PH. But anyway, I snuck in behind some scrub and got in quite close. And anyway, I turned around, I could hear them sort of following me. And anyway, I was about 15 yards in front. And I'm stalking in, got right down on hands and knees. And anyway, I hear a whisper from behind, and I didn't quite catch what it was. And so I turned around to have a listen, and Vion was encouraging me to not go any closer and to take the shot if I could. Anyway, from the kneeling position, I was steady as, but I could only see top portion of his back, and I'd been told that, you know, the vitals on the kudu are much lower. They've got a really high wither, and you don't want to be hitting, you know, above centre really. And I had no shot below centre. I could really only see about 10 or 12 inches of his back line. Anyway, so Vion encouraged me to stand up and take an offhand shot. So all my practice I'd done at home and over the years came into the fore here, and so I wiggled my feet into the sand to get nice and comfortable and flicked the safety off. And as I came up, I had that fire dot on the leopard just wavering over his chest, and I squeezed off the shot. Anyway, this kudu hit by a 300 Win Mag and 200 grain eld-x just tore off like as if nothing had happened, and I was like, oh God, have I missed? So I cranked another round in and followed him through the scope, and when he came through a clearing I let off another shot which felt really good. And anyway, after that he kind of disappeared. Anyway, Ronnie and Vion sort of said, right, no worries, looked like a hit, and I'm like, geez, maybe in the recoil I didn't see it. But anyway, so we went over to where he was under the tree, and yeah, it wasn't far from the tree we found blood, so it was a fairly easy tracking job, and Ronnie got onto him pretty quick and yeah, found him piled up. So anyway, that's a bit of what happened prior to this little bit of footage you're about to see.
Fading. Oh, I see now. I see. Yeah, between those trees, yeah. He's lifting his head, yeah. Those one. He's fading. Oh, I see now. I see. Yeah, between those trees, yeah. He's lifting his head, yeah.
The one for yesterday. This one. Yeah. Is the one that we saw yesterday?
Oh, bedded.
Yeah.
Righto, so Ronnie's followed some blood about 30 metres from where I took the first shot. Second running shot. Felt pretty good too, but I had a sick feeling that I'd shot too high early on. But Ronnie was pretty confident it was good blood, and we had to come in behind him to make sure, but he's only gone 150 maybe. Yeah, so pretty relieved. It's the same bull that we sort of hunted yesterday afternoon, so that's pretty cool. So let's go and have a look at him.
This is the only animal that can see his tips of the horns with his eyes. So you can see if you look through here.
Oh, yep.
You can see the eye.
So we can see where the tips of his horns are.
Yes, the only animal that can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, move your finger.
Okay, I'm gonna leave
Oh, geez, heavy. There you go. Awesome. What a magnificent animal. Rightio, here we are, just before lunch on day 4. We decided to chase kudu today after taking my Impala late yesterday afternoon, and we had seen this bull yesterday actually, but he gave us the slip, and yeah, so we had a pretty good morning. We saw probably a dozen animals, one other nice bull, but he just gave us the slip in the bush, and so we left him behind and came back around to where we'd seen this bull bedded yesterday, and just started working through this burnt country here. And yeah, Ronnie's sharp eyes picked up this bull in the shade of a fairly big tree over there, and immediately I got the binos on him, and I could tell that, you know, he was worth going for. So I think I got a quick little bit of video of him sitting there sort of feeding and looking at us a little bit. Anyway, we jumped out of the truck and jumped over the fence and snuck in a little way, and I just really wanted to get a good rest because we didn't actually have Bjorn's bloody big shooting stick, and I only had my camera tripod, which would be alright if it was not as grassy. But anyway, I snuck in a little bit, but then he caught a little bit of movement. Anyway, from behind I get the go ahead to shoot, and but I could only see sort of maybe a foot of his wither, which, you know, with a kudu is no good, too high for a shot. From the kneeling position, I was really confident, nice and steady, and I was even contemplating a neck shot, but I thought I felt like I had time. But anyway, Beyond told me to stand up and take on off the shoulder shot, so I wiggled the feet into the sand and got nice and comfy, and just slowly came up with the safety off and tried to settle the crosshairs down nice and low on his chest. He was pretty much perfectly broadside. Yeah, and I squeezed off the shot, which felt a little high at the time, but I cranked another one in and took a running shot, which felt quite good. But in the end, the running shot was quite high in his wither, and the first shot was top of the heart, so he's only run about 120 yards, and he's piled up here. So yeah, super wrapped to get one of these things. Yeah, what an awesome animal. Bloody wicked coat on it with these nice white stripes, and you wouldn't believe how well they blend into their surroundings. Like, yeah, crazy. I've got to use binoculars, but these guys tend to pick them up with their eyes. Obviously, they've trained their eyes to spot these things in the bush. But yeah, so now we've got some work to get the vehicle in here and get him in the back. Will be a bit of a mission, I reckon. So, but anyway, Kudu is down. Leaning forward, right? That was hard work, Ronnie. Yeah. We're this afternoon we're going in on a buffalo that was shot early this morning. Not too sure of where it impacted, but they've given him a heap of time to settle in bed. So the guys are going in. I'm along for the ride. I'm staying at the back.
Right through the ribs, because that bullet went straight through. Now it's straight in.
And I lost 15 pounds today. those binoculars off and put them in the camp.
So we found several swipes, not really drips, swipes that always seem to be on leaves, sticks that he seems to be rubbing these wounds against. You know, the trackers have determined that it's a pass-through, he's got blood on both sides. But just wanted to say, like, of all the things that you'd want to come to Africa for, one of them's got to be watching these guys track. Now, I've always thought I was already pretty good at it. I haven't been paying as much attention to the tracks as these guys have. But wow, they're tracking multiple animals. And then when we had about 5 to start with, we dropped to 3, 2, then 1. Each time we had to make sure that we're on the wounded bull and not on another one. Significantly bigger track, which helps, but yeah, it's been awesome watching these guys. It's a real experience. Doesn't look good though. So we've been on these bulls for a couple of hours. They're not straight line there. But we've probably gone K1.5 from the shot. So it hasn't bedded down at all. Anyway. Super interesting watching these guys. Father and son, so the father's definitely got more experience, but they're a good combo.
We keep on talking English.
Afrikaans tonight, please.
Good evening. We are starting our dinner. We have got tonight, this is the cabbage sofa baked in the oven. The cabbage and carrot, you will taste it, is a new introduction here. Then we've got our green mixed vegetables. We've got our fillet, it's good fillet. We've turned it into coconut curry for tonight with rice. Then with our beetroot salad with some onions and feta cheese. Enjoy.
Thank you, John. Renata, explain to them, Bjorn, explain to them. Arriba!
It's in Spanish, arriba.
Arriba!
Arriba!
Abajo!
Oh, he cheated. He cheated.
Yeah, cheat!
Yeah,
You gotta wait.
you cheated. You got to do it again.
Warm.
I know that.
I hope you're enjoying my South African hunting experience so far. This is the end of part 1, but please stick around for part 2 as I get totally obsessed with hunting bushbuck. What an amazing, most beautiful antelope, I believe, in South Africa. So stick around for that. It's going to be worth the wait. Now, if this has sparked some interest with you with hunting South Africa, please don't hesitate to contact me on www.zebrashunting.com and let me help you plan your own African adventure.
Hey!